Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Blanky Speed here. We're back with another Dota 2 video. Today we're going to be covering 33's Pangolier offlane. I believe this video is coming out after the offlane list I made, and I didn't put him on the list, which is a shame because I really do want to recommend this hero as an offlaner in the current patch. I believe it's really strong, really fun, and just has a lot of potential to be one of those builds that you can min-max and get a ton of value out of in pub. So what are we going to be looking at here today? As I tank the blankie off. It's a little hot, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually not cold. I don't need the blankie. But we're gonna be looking at Thunderbolt Pangolier. So what it does is it makes the roll really fast, but the duration is decreased. Now, what is the duration decreased from? So typically, roll is a 10-second duration. This facet makes it a 9-second duration. You might be like, that's barely a decrease. And you'd be right, because last patch, they made it go from an 8-second to a 9-second duration. And yeah, it matters. I mean, it definitely matters, an extra second. Obviously, it's not good that it goes down, but considering how effective this ability is during those 9 seconds, it's pretty impressive. They've also nerfed double jump the other facet 40 times in a row, and so yeah, it's about time Thunderbolt has come into the meta. I think Valve did a good job of kind of bringing it to people's attention and giving it the slight buff that it needs, and let's get into it. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. So, offlane Pango, why is this hero best as an offlaner? This hero is best as a stunner, and I believe it's one of the best vessel buyers in the game. Pangolier will naturally have impact just by existing. Its W gives him a barrier, so he's tanky. Its E is attack speed reduction and armor reduction, so it's like good against heroes like Gyro in teamfights. You can really just disrupt his attack speed by hitting him with any of the abilities. People don't know the Lucky Shot procs on your auto attacks or any of your abilities. So like Roll, Shield Crash, Swashbuckle, all proc Lucky Shot. So in teamfights, just by rolling on people, you might reduce their armor and their attack speed. So in the laning stage, you generally take your W level 1. This is a really good laning stage ability. It's only 70 damage, but it gives you a barrier, and you use it to secure the range creep. Pretty standard, because if the enemy tries to punish you for going for the range creep, you'll have a bit of a barrier, and you can use that barrier to disengage. In terms of starting items, there's a few different builds you can go. You can go 2 circlets, tangos, and 3 branches, because you're universal, or you can go wand 3 branches like he did here. I think those are the 2 best options. So for his next item, he's going to be picking up a bracer. This is pretty standard. On top of that, the skill build is very straightforward, guys. You're going to max your Q, then you're going to max your W. So you put 2 points in the W in the laning stage, then you max the Q because it's the better farming, better early game tool. Then eventually you'll come back for your E. Sometimes, and I only mean sometimes, people will skill Lucky Shot in lane, but I think it's worse than ever because now you don't really play around the shield crash as much. The reason why? There's no double jump, it's a less effective ability. So the main objective in the laning stage is really not to do too much. This hero is pretty tanky because it has 6 base armor. It hits pretty hard because it's universal, especially as you get all these stat items and you level up. Pango really ramps up in damage, and you can kind of just use the barrier of the W and his generally high damage to get a lot of last hits and as many denies as possible. In this lane, he's against Gyro. This is not one of Pango's better matchups. It's like even-ish. I would say it's slightly Gyro favored, so his main objective in this lane is really just to avoid taking unnecessary damage and play for last hits and denies. So just to repeat one more time, this hero is mostly a defensive laner. It does occasionally have kill potential, but for the most part, you're just looking to get your levels up, chill, play defensive, secure the range creep with abilities, and hit your timings. Yeah, as you can see at level 5, 3 points swash, 2 points shield crash. Next item, mana boots. Yeah, it's a nerfed item. It sucks a little bit to have to buy it, but the reality is you kind of need it on this build, and as a result, he does still go for it. Now, at level 6, you become a rotating beast. Due to the increased movement of Rolling Thunder, this hero can counter gank extremely well. So now you want to look around the map. This is his player view. He's looking top, while he's gonna potentially push out bottom, he's looking top. Seeing, am I needed at this fight? Because if he is, he will absolutely TP in. So in general, my advice is if the enemy doesn't dive a tower, just farm your lane. However, you'll notice the Sand King pushes up here, he has a puck, so they have really good setup, and he's gonna TP in on the Sand King. Makes a lot of sense. And you notice this roll, I'm gonna play it in normal speed, just so you guys can see it. This is normal speed, look how fast it is. This is regular Dota. This thing zooms, and so you can see why it's so damn good at connecting to these early game fights. If the enemy disengages, you will still catch up. From there, usually you return back to your lane and you continue to farm while roll is on cooldown. That is the most standard play. He goes a little bit off standard here as he's gonna put his bracer on the ground, pop his mana boots, and he actually plays to defend top tower. It's hard for me to understand exactly why they're doing this, but my general guess is the enemy team was starting to group up and he just felt the general need to defend. Pangolier is really good at defending towers because Swashbuckle kills the wave from a very safe distance. That is something you need to get good at when using Swash, guys. 9 out of 10 times, you want to be using Swashbuckle early in the fight. It's actually the first thing you should do before rolling, because roll is a 9-second duration. This is a 12-second cooldown. So by the time the roll is over, you almost have another Swash. Also, as I was saying, you want to use Swash at max range when possible. A lot of bad Pangoliers will use this ability like Tahir in this situation, and they'll take a lot of unnecessary damage and put themselves out of position. So really try to be comfortable with using it max range. It makes a big difference. All right, so in this team fight, he doesn't have ulti, so he's not committing. And yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the semi-flaws of Pango. You're not like hyper useful when your ulti is on cooldown, but you're really good at farming lane creeps, and you're really hard to gank because you're pretty tanky and you have 2 mobility abilities, one that gives you a barrier. So generally, the standard play is ulti is on cooldown, farm your lane. Clearly, that's not what he's aiming to do here. They want to shut down Azuray's early movements. I think they feel that Darkseer is pretty weak at this point of the game. That's definitely the angle. And as the ulti comes back up, this team fight, let's take a look. Leads with Swash. Okay, max range. Ulti. Look at this ulti. Damn, this guy's good at driving too, by the way. Almost bumps into the cog. Perfect W. Over the cogs, onto the clock. I am slowing it down a bit just so you can see it because it's so quick. Back onto the gyro again, onto the clock again, turns that shit around, onto the Sand King, onto the Darkseer, back off the wall, back onto the Sand King, back onto the gyro. Like, the amount of impact, now to be fair, roll doesn't deal that much damage in the early game. It's a good amount. It's not nothing. 75 damage as well as 100% of your attack damage. So it's probably about like 150. And yeah, I mean, the amount of stuns he just put out, disrupting the fight. I mean, this Luna, just to play it back, this Luna would have died so much faster if he wasn't here. He stops auto attacks. He stops the Darkseer's positioning, who had a shell on him. So that shell would have killed the Luna way faster. And because of the amount of time he made them take to kill the Luna, they completely overextend. The Swash comes back up and he kills them. Just once again, because he swashed first before rolling, it's back up, and now it finishes them off. That was beautiful. Like, I watched that team fight. I was watching the highlights of this game when I woke up, and I'm like, phew, he cooked. Now, next item, Urn. Great item for Pango. You need mana regen. You need a bit of armor. You want HP. You need sustain after the team fight. You need a bit of healing. By the way, Royal Jelly, best item you can get, I would say. You need both HP and mana, so it gives both of those. And then, yeah, you buy a Vessel. Now you're going to play fast. They buffed Vessel. I've said it in every video, but now the healing went from 50% reduction to 60% healing reduction. That works on items like Magic Wand in the early game and Mech, and most importantly, frankly, Magic Wand. Like, I don't think people realize how good it is to reduce wand healing in the early game. Like, putting Vessel on support so they can't use a 20 wand really makes them die fast. Then, if you die with a charge, you now get a charge. Previously, you would only get bonus charges when dying if you had 0. Now, you can get an extra charge even if you have 2 or 3 or 4, so it helps the item be a bit better at snowballing. I don't think it breaks the item by any means. I don't think Vessel makes you insta-win. It's not that OP, but it's a super solid item on these tempo heroes. Talking about tempo, this clip would have been really good, and I think the gyro would have been pretty easy to kill if he had a Vessel charge. Unfortunately, due to the way the game played out, he didn't have an Urn earlier. Like, it does kind of suck that he didn't have it in the last fight where he would have gone 3-4 charges. So, a bit of a bummer, but like here, you can see you're really good at setting up, bumps into the gyro, and you can roll in a circle. That's what's pretty cool about other roll, you have to roll against walls to chain stun. This one, you just roll in a circle. I mean, not literally in a circle, you kind of have to go straight for like a second and then go in a circle. It's not like you hit them, go in a circle, it's hit them, go straight, go in a circle. Just so you can see it again, because this is something you could easily mess up. He hits him, then he actually uses the jump because it slows, and the cooldown of Shield Crush is lower when you're rolling. It's 9 seconds at level 1, 6 at level 12, and 3 seconds at level 18. The roll cooldown determines the W cooldown while rolling. And then, yeah, he goes straight a little, then turns. Same thing here. Hits him, goes straight kind of a little, then turns. Not a lot. It's like half a second, but it does seem to make a difference. Another swash to end it off. And yeah, I mean, they probably could have threatened the gyro if he had a Vessel charge there, but this hero, just to really be clear, is very low damage early game, which seems weird because it has a bunch of nukes, but it's just because the ulti doesn't deal a ton of damage. So look at it as follow-up for your teammates. You want to be counter-initiating, you want to be making plays with damage dealers, which is why I love their draft so much. This DP4, to me, is very interesting. That sucks. I consider making a video on it, because DP4 just got buffed in terms of damage. It's really a high damage support. Puck's a very high damage mid as the game progresses. Luna is an extremely high damage early game carry. And so I think three of their heroes enable Pango really hard. And he should play around the ranged damage dealers in general. It's good to have these like Willows, Skyrats, Hoodwinks, AAs, DP, Luna, Puck, whatever, Lena, Leshrac. You want to enable these heroes by just going in front for them. We're going to see Smoke come out here. Again, kind of unfortunate. He has no Vessel charge. It is a drawback of the item. He could kill himself to neutrals to get a charge. You know, that is the highest tech play. No, I'm kidding. But finally, gets his 2 charges. And look at this, right? The Sand King is so far away, but he can just roll to him. Applies the Vessel. W misses. That's okay. Skirt! Good control, honestly, to not hit the wall here. And yeah, hits the Sand King, gets the kill. I mean, the chase potential is crazy. Runs into the triangle, gets a barrier, 200 barrier for a single hero. It's 200 barrier per hero, so the more heroes you hit, the better. It's not a massive slow, it's only 3 seconds, so not the best slow. And next, you buy a pipe. I would buy a pipe basically every game in this position. The other angle is buying Blink and Shard, but you don't really need it as much because you're so fast. So I love 33's angle, which is not buying Blink at all. And to be fair, this is a game where I would want to buy Blink on any initiator because I don't have really an initiator. You could say maybe Puck, maybe, right? Maybe Puck, but Puck is not the best. It's a hero that prefers to counter initiate. So yeah, it is a good game for him to do it, but I think he just values buying the auras, especially with very squishy range heroes. Pipe super enables DP. This hero wants to push the limits. Puck loves having a pipe, especially in a game like where you're against, I mean, look at these damn heroes. The only physical damage is Gyro, and he's mixed, you know? And so, yeah, in this team fight, another team fight where, oh, this team fight barely worked. Oh, look at this one. I actually want to show this from Puck's perspective. This was so unlucky. He missed the last hit because this shit applied. He has 17% chance to miss, and he missed. So the egg went off, and I actually think it killed them. Plus, I mean, the Luna wasn't here, so this kind of hurt a bit. I think also if they kind of lacked the Eclipse damage a bit, which hurt this team fight. So in between team fights, guys, I recommend killing basically 0 neutrals. You just want to one-shot waves, which is a nice thing about Pango, that you just about one-shot waves. And so you should keep that in mind. It's one of the heroes that's really good at farming as he clears another wave. And yeah, at this point, he's got his pipe up. Now you're stupid tanky. I mean, look at his HP pool, 2k health. You're a nuts good frontliner, and you can tank goes. So you can kind of just sit on hills, and if they go on you, you're going to get a massive barrier because they're going to be clumped up. Your W is going to give you 400, 600, 800 HP. You have a barrier, 400 barrier from pipe, and insane resistance from the pipe, as well as pretty good armor because you have Vessel, right? So, I mean, it's not that much, but you get the point. For his neutral item, he took Iron Talon, and I actually really like this choice. It's a bit of a side note, but Iron Talon on Pango just lets you kill neutrals, right? As I was saying, you can't really kill them, but if you have Iron Talon, you can farm the occasional camp, and so it's really nice. Plus, it gives you a bit more armor, which the hero does like, right? It helps you a bit against this Gyro, or especially, it's particularly good against ranged carries. Most melee carries cannot actually hit you in team fights. It's very hard, but the ranged carries for sure can. And you'll see he actually ends up farming some Ancients here. I'm not really going to look into it too much. It's not the main point of Pango, but with Iron Talon, you can farm Ancients, so it is pretty nice. All right, major team fight breakout here. And I love his patience. He doesn't instantly roll till he sees a good target. And the big thing is you want to know who you can put Vessel on. Unfortunately, he has no charges here, but the Sand King is the best Vessel target here. This Sand King, in my opinion, has really the wrong items. To me, it's a really good Yule's game. You dodge Eclipse, you dodge roll, you purge Vessel, you can purge Net, you can disengage from Silence. This Silence, Witchblade, like, to me, I don't know about Bloodstone this game when you're against the hero that might rush Vessel. So, and Pipe, like, this is the anti-Sand King items, let me tell you. This is anti-Sand King. He doesn't have a charge, but yeah, finds the Sand King. I love how it's on the target that's on his Luna. You want to try to stun people near your damage dealers, right? Stuns the Sand King again, and that leads to this burst. Okay, almost burst. This guy would have insta-died if he had a Vessel charge. But, I mean, the amount of disruption, like, he's going to deal. So the Darkseer, at this point, still had Vac, gets it off. But he's going to cancel the Sunray, which is pretty huge, right? It is a maxed out Sunray. Just easily cancels it. Stuns them up, stuns them again. Stuns the Gyro, like, pfft. So basically, he sets up the Sand King kill, cancels the Sunray, and then delays the carry's initiation into the fight, gets Vessel charges, pokes out the Gyro, and now the fight's kind of just over. As he should, yeah, I was going to say, just Vessel the clock here. You can put it on subs, it's good. As I said, it stops the wand, and it just kind of finishes the kill, but like, Vessel does most damage to heroes that are full HP because it does percentage-based damage, but it's current health, not max health. So it does more damage to higher HP they are, but it's still good to put on people when they're dying or getting bursted because of Wand and Mech, and right, which this game come into play. Mech, Wands, right? Everyone will generally have a Wand in high MMR. Okay, and one nice thing about this is this 15 talent is really OP on this build because like Rolling Thunder is just so broken with this facet, and you get 2 seconds Rolling Thunder duration. By the way, he took 4 Lucky Shot armor reduction. Your abilities or your E is 13 minus armor. Like, pfft, crazy number. So this hero, I mean, is good in minus armor strategies. Like, I think Pango is really good with Shadow Fiend, for instance, because you're reducing armor, you're a frontliner, you're chain stunning heroes for SF, which is great. Like, I think that pairing is really good. There's a couple other ones, like I think Gyro is really good because he likes AoE minus armor with heroes like Slaughter and Pango. It's really good. But yeah, next up he's buying Shivas. Just such good backline disruption with the ulti. You're applying the Shivas to everyone. You're applying the slow, the HP reduction. It's really good. It gives you a bit more armor. So you bought the plate mail. I would recommend buying the Veil first. I don't really think you need the armor. Fine, whatever. Teamfight breaks out. Has to be careful of the cogs. Does kind of get trapped in these cogs here. Hits the Sand King. This is obviously kind of worst case scenario. He does Vessel the Sand King here. The Sand King, once again, does not have a Dispel, and you should be checking throughout the game. Like, it's really bad for him to Vessel Gyro early on in fights and Vessel Darkseer, unless they're isolated and you're forcing them to use these items when they don't want to, like an early BKB. That can be okay, but in mid-team fight, his best target by a long shot is this no Dispel Sand King. So he should be constantly Vesseling Sand King because he's healing a heal build with no Dispel, and that's who you counter the hardest. So yeah, gets a good roll. Vessel charges. BKB's over on Gyro, so now it's an easy Vessel to kind of poke him out if he chases. And yeah, this item just kind of, it's really good against these high HP heroes. It's just chunking a bit of their health. All right, making it really awkward for them to want to chase forward. Oh, and by the way, for the other talents, you take Shield Crash Radius at 20, and at 25, you take Rolling Thunder cooldown. All right, and to end off the video, because honestly, every team fight from here on out kind of just looks the same. It's just him destroying the team fight. But he gets gone on here, really tanky. I don't think he would have died with or without the Naga in position, but they keep him in place. Sand King, does he have a Dispel? Nope. Dude, I don't know. I feel like Azure Rain needs to let this guy farm a damn Yules. He's getting stuck and Vesseled with Bloodstone. Like, I don't know. Maybe Tundra's just playing too fast, but like, these items, I feel like they're so bad. Maybe I'm just a hater, but whatever. Team fight breaks out, roll. At this point, when you're almost level 18, okay, I thought he was level 18. When you're level 18, you can kind of spam Shield Crash. You can get it off 3 times during your ult because of the ult cooldown reduction. But at this point, he's only level 17, so it's a 6-second cooldown, so you can only get it off twice, which is still good, and it is something you generally should do. But look at this, hits to Gyro, catches the backline, stuns up the clock, stuns clock again, stuns Gyro again. Gyro's just wasting all of his time hitting a stupid tanky Pango who does not care. Another stun on the clock, another W to slow the clock. Comes back around, Vessel to almost finish off the clock, stuns Gyro again. Like, dude, what is this? The amount of disruption. I mean, the Sand King, if you're Sand King here, you're like, where the hell is my team? Like, this guy's pretty tanky. You're like, guys, I'm soaking damage, dead. Like, why isn't my team not going in? Where's my egg? Where's my hook? You know, and it's just a mess. Clock is an easy kill for the, right, Clock is a very easy kill for this point, at this point for the DP, because he's just completely poked out and destroyed by Pango. Yeah, that's why I think if you get good at this build, it's pretty insane. It's actually really insane. So yeah, I kind of wish I put him on the offlane list, because I do believe in this hero a lot. I think it's super potent in the right drafts. I think you should pick it with a lot of damage. It's one of those heroes where it's good to pick it when you have like 4 damage dealers, because you're just a stun bot. You're an Aura Vessel stun bot. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next one. And I'm out. Peace.
And that's all. But remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.